Down here in the bottom right, we have our Terran player, one of two. He is
Liquid TaeJa.
Oh, we got some serious cheering in the audience today. Now in the upper left, in the red, we have our Terran player, legend from StarCraft 1. He is
SK Telecom T1 FanTaSy.
FanTaSy, always a Terran player in StarCraft 1 that I looked up to and took builds from and took strategies from, and tried to copy quite a bit.
emulate as much as you can.
The thing is with Flash, it's like if you want to copy Flash, it's like okay, so play perfect then, and it's like, well, I can't. He's the only Terran that plays perfect, so I can't do that. So you'd have to go down one Terran to FanTaSy and be like, well, at least he has some sort of cool style.
All right, some nerds here for FanTaSy.
Yes.
From Sweden.
And the other was France, I believe.
France, I believe. Well, we'll never know now. We can just say it's France.
Jung Myung Hyun. Okay. That is, of course, FanTaSy's name. I'm not sure who those other two are. Maybe they're people with the same name as him. Could be. Could be.
I like the barracks placement here.
Yeah, that's a little bit sneaky.
Yeah.
And that's going to allow his Reapers to come out. I do believe he is probably going to go for Reaper with that weird placement. That's my guess.
Well, if he gets scouted and then
he
doesn't see a barracks, he's like, oh my god, what?
Yeah.
He might actually overextend his defense.
And this actually could be so he can also build an add-on in a factory there, and a scout can't see it. Like if you scout with a Reaper, are you necessarily going to go down there? Not entirely sure. If you don't find it in the main base, you might check near your base.
Yeah.
So there's a plethora of things he could be doing from here.
Great usage of the word plethora, by the way.
Yes, thank you. I'm trying.
The nerds that are watching, they're going to get good scores
words
on their SATs. They're going to have a high vocab.
That's what I want them to have.
We'll have quite the,
so they can all become,
dare I say, lexicon.
Oh, you dare say.
I did. I went there. Now, looks like we're going to have a little bit of a push here. This could get a little messy because the displacement of that other barracks, that red barracks.
And a command center immediately going up right now for TaeJa, as well as that reactor. Looks like probably FanTaSy going to go for that same exact thing. And we're going to have a couple of Reapers passing the night, as well as the Marines, and they're doing the exact same thing, basically.
Yeah.
The one thing we can say is that FanTaSy's barracks is way out of position, which is going to make his reinforcements later, whereas the reinforcements of his opponent, TaeJa, are going to be out far faster.
Whoa! Nice! Just barely gets in there, denying the reactor being added on over there. Well, this is messy because there's really not a lot you can do against a Marine and a Reaper here.
Yeah, he's going to have to just pop out Marines and try to fight the Reaper off like that. But in the meantime, we do have that bunker being built, and suddenly is FanTaSy just going to
I think actually
lose
FanTaSy
too much because of this possible bunker?
Well, he's going to get this depot down, but the amount of SCVs that have been killed in this period of time is incredible.
Well, a couple
All he has to do is get that Reaper.
Oh.
He needs to get the Reaper more than anything.
Yeah, he needs to keep that alive because it will just heal up and attack again.
Oh!
And down goes TaeJa's. Meantime, FanTaSy's does get away.
How many SCVs were killed back there? Do you know?
I don't know. Well, it's 17 to 19. We see 6 against 3 killed. Wow, 7 killed. Well, that is a pretty big deal on both sides, really. FanTaSy going a little bit behind from here.
Well, early TBT and HOTS looks like it can heat up pretty fast.
Yeah, it certainly can. It's like a Pop-Tart.
They do heat up fast. What was your favorite kind of Pop-Tart?
I don't remember. No, what?
Yes! What? You don't like the s'more Pop-Tarts?
I like candy bars for breakfast. No, tasteless. No, I don't like candy bars for breakfast like you, okay?
No, I don't even eat Pop-Tarts for breakfast.
When my mom let me, I like to eat chocolate cake for breakfast, too. It's like, yeah, that's a great way to start your day, tasteless. Oh, he's going to get another SCV. Down it goes. And another Marine. And you know what? This is why he was called the terrorist Terran. He just harasses nonstop and goes after workers so much. It is really a hallmark of his play.
Wow, he actually got out. I can't believe that.
He always gets
Wait,
out.
we didn't answer what your favorite Pop-Tart is.
You know, I think it was, I don't remember all the filling types. I know it was one of the fruit ones, though.
Ew, you like the cherry Pop-Tarts?
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
Ew.
Strawberry, I think, is probably my
Blueberry?
favorite. I don't really remember, to be honest. But I know it wasn't the cake one.
It's a s'more, man. It's s'more flavored.
No, I didn't like cake. Not for breakfast. Now, we do have
aren't
these
cakes, man.
now, you know what? This is kind of cool because TaeJa is getting the Caduceus Reactor to try to fake Cloak, but I mean, he's not really scanning, so that may not actually end up doing anything. In the meantime, he is getting that Medevac and some Widow Mines. And Widow Mine drops can be very, very nice.
They're very tough to deal with. You know, the Widow Mine has enough energy, or I should say hit points, that it can burrow before you can kill it. Oh, and they're going to
They might pass
each other.
And the Widow Mines can do something about this possibly, but no.
Nope.
Not wide enough open ground there.
We'll see if he still commits with the drop over here. FanTaSy definitely going to come in. And bringing them out now. No, it looks like he might actually leave. I don't know what he can possibly
I think he probably should.
From this, you know.
In the meantime, we do have FanTaSy actually getting a Viking to fight this off with, and in fact, he has a Widow Mine, and it takes that down. Oh, the one Widow Mine gets out. Not as much damage as he would have liked.
Oh, sick.
Did he just snipe it with that?
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
He just killed his own Marine.
Hi, FanTaSy. You're still really good at games. Well, now his drop does go down, starting to go after some of these SCVs. Not getting a lot so far. The Widow Mine trying to chase him out. Another Widow Mine coming up, but moving a little bit too far down. Looks like he's going to go for the natural, but will there be a Widow Mine there? No, it doesn't look like there is, but Hellions awaiting him.
All right, the Medevac now going to drop over here. The Hellions doing additional damage. I don't know if it's going to be enough, though. Solid defense here.
Well, I got to say,
TaeJa.
FanTaSy, though, has done very well in his defense as well. The Widow Mine drop can be very scary, but he had his Widow Mines in position. He sniped it with some splash damage. Didn't have to use any scans. Very well done. Whereas FanTaSy lost nothing during that. Everything was lost for TaeJa.
All right, the Banshee taking hits now. But would have liked to have that cloak over there. But it is taken out.
Yep.
And we got a lot of Hellions here for FanTaSy.
And in fact, FanTaSy going to be going for mech. Meanwhile, TaeJa is going for bio. So this is
now let's actually learn right now how mech and bio operate in HOTS.
Well, it's an interesting thing, right? Because if you get to the late game, mech is better than it used to be in the late game because you have, the Battle of Hellions.
Sure, it has more flexibility.
Yeah, it does. The early game, though, is scary because speed medevacs are going to really contain you. It's going to be so hard to defend against those.
I mean, siege tanks aren't quite as good for defense.
No.
If they can drop you anywhere and get out.
Turrets as well. Think about it, right? The single turret line doesn't do what it used to do against these because they are just going to boost past it.
All right, he's unburrows and backs up. Meanwhile, the third has been taken here for TaeJa. FanTaSy none the wiser right now.
Is boosting a medevac down to get some more Hellion harassment going. And you know what? With I think I see what FanTaSy's plan is here. Because drops are like really powerful early game against mech nowadays with those speed medevacs. What he's doing is he's focusing more on keeping the pressure on.
Yeah.
And what that's going to do is force TaeJa to be in his base a bit longer and maybe do less drops himself. It's a solid idea.
Take away some of that map control. By the way, the physics in this game is so gorgeous now in HOTS with the death animations.
Yeah.
It's so cool. All right, so we have the medevac coming in here now into TaeJa's main. He might also hit in the front with those additional Hellions. And here comes that drop right now.
And out come the Hellions going after all these SCVs. TaeJa could be in some trouble. Just a few Marines and a Marauder coming out. Now a Siege Tank as well, but good targeting will kill a lot.
Oh, he managed to get some Hellions over here, gunning down, looks like 2 now.
Yeah, maybe.
But the Hellions still doing a lot of damage over to those SCVs.
Oh, that is kind of brutal. Really just stacking so much damage on top here. He's killed 28 SCVs against just 11 so far.
Yeah. He's playing phenomenally.
Yeah, he's actually up by 9 SCVs now, which is quite nice for him. But TaeJa does have that third base. So he does have the extra mules going. That's going to definitely help out. But again, anytime you can trade minerals for minerals with mech against bio, that's going to be nice because they're very mineral heavy, whereas you're very gas heavy.
SCVs are now being transferred over to the third. And it looks like TaeJa might have a really good position. And then be able to sneak, well, maybe not now, but he can kind of circumvent those siege tanks with the medevacs, so we'll see.
He's got to be careful, though. You know, with the speed boost of the Medivacs, if he has no anti-air on those tanks, a big drop could land right on him, and those Vikings were a ways out. But TaeJa, you know, choosing to be a little bit safer, doesn't go for something so crazy so quickly.
Yeah. All right, a scan over here on those siege tanks, and he needs to monitor the siege tanks very carefully.
Ooh.
Oh, damn.
That's a good hit.
Little mines are so good. Yeah. He needs to monitor those very carefully, because if they're unsieged, he can stim and run in and take them out. But if they're sieged, he can pick up boosts his medevacs and just go where they're not.
Yeah, you have to be so careful right now.
That's one of the things about mech armies is that you don't always have to engage them. Yeah. In fact, it's sometimes better to just keep not engaging them and hitting them wherever they're not, and you know, dealing damage that way.
Well, you know, we do have a Hellbat drop incoming towards that third base. Don't forget, Hellbats still are ridiculously good when dropped. Can deal a lot of damage. The drop looks like it's about to come in at the same time as FanTaSy moving out, really timing this quite well.
These Hellbats can do a lot of damage if TaeJa doesn't move them out in time. And TaeJa's already lost a lot of workers. Nice job there picking them up.
Just going towards the main base now. It looks like he's going to boost over these turrets.
Yeah, he's going to have to commit here because these turrets can take out all the medevacs if he's not careful.
Yeah, one medevac does go down. A couple others very low on health. Doesn't look like he can snipe anything yet.
Meanwhile, TaeJa still losing more SCVs inside of his main. I think TaeJa might have actually lost too many SCVs at this point in time.
It's possible.
I mean,
how many? Oh my God, 44.
Okay.
FanTaSy really keep up these harassment tactics. And guys, once again, if you're not an old school StarCraft 1 fan, you haven't seen a lot of FanTaSy from StarCraft 1, which is a very, very, very similar game, although still somewhat different.
Right.
This is like what he does. He harasses you non-stop. He is all over the place killing workers.
How is he going to be able to take out this SCV before it finishes the command center? This is one of these games where we have one guy who's multitasking so well, he's slowly burying the other guy.
And it's with so few units, too,
I mean,
right?
he's got, like, you know, a few Hellions here, a Hellbat there.
He's doing it one medevac at a time, which is crazy, because normally when people do this, it's like, well, Gumio's dropping 3 places, you're not going to hit them all. But just his timing, the way that he's moving his main army during this to try to catch your attention, it's so well done.
Yeah. He's playing really nicely. But, you know, to be fair, TaeJa is the one with map control. He is able to move around. If he gets 1 or 2 good hits off on a mech army, that's it. I mean, if you lose your mech army, if you lose all those siege tanks that we see there, that takes a long time to remake.
Yeah.
All right, it looks like we might have that engagement right now.
And, ooh, a nice Widow Mine there for TaeJa. TaeJa stimming, running forward, and point defense drones. 2 of them coming out. A very big deal, but does he actually have enough here to stop this huge Marauder force?
Even though it's a small number of Marauders, they do so much damage to tanks, it looks like they'll just barely take this out.
Looks like
wow, that was rough.
Yeah, FanTaSy misjudged that a bit, and now TaeJa suddenly in a really good spot.
This goes back to something I was mentioning earlier. If he loses all those tanks, FanTaSy does, how do you remake that in time? You can't.
No, that's
Reigns and Marauders make too quickly.
No, TaeJa's in a great spot. You know, FanTaSy did a very good job earlier on, but now this could get a little bit rough on him. Now he's using his drops a little bit more, dropping these Hellbats. Now he can't drop on the siege tanks, but does he have just enough units?
All right, he's pushing out now and hitting those very nicely, actually, hitting those. SCVs now being taken out. And I think he's going to be able to get this position. These SCVs don't really have an escape plan. TaeJa, despite losing all these workers, had that one big engagement that worked well for him.
Yeah. No,
and, you know, he might actually just win this.
You don't want to give up hope too quickly against mech. If they ever overextend like that, if they ever misjudge a battle, suddenly it can go greatly in your favor. And, you know, in small amounts of units, the Bioforce is going to kill the mech force.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, well, we do have a couple medevacs coming out, so this might be held now. Oh, he got the command center. That's pretty rough for FanTaSy. Well done by TaeJa.
All right, TaeJa is going to regroup now in the middle. He might attack again.
After killing all those SCVs at the expansion, man, 51 to 55 SCVs killed. This is an absolute slugfest so far.
I don't think FanTaSy should move out at this point in time. The siege tank count actually might be even by now.
That's pretty rough as a mech player.
Yeah. And it looks like he's pushing closer in here now. Looks like he doesn't want to siege up. I don't know if this is a good idea, actually.
Yeah, that was
weird.
Well, at that point, TaeJa thought he could break it just by attack moving with those tanks. They still do deal a lot of damage.
We got another drop over here at the third base, excuse me, with these Hellbats, and another drop coming over here to the 4th.
God, he really is non-stop tasteless.
What is he doing? Okay. I was like, don't do that.
Yeah, that could have been very bad. Well, it looks like we're going to have double Hellbat drops going on at the same time.
Yeah.
And a couple going down at that 4th base. In the meantime, his other medevac is still floating around. He hasn't actually dropped with it yet, though. And he takes that SCV lead once again.
All right, picking up again and backing out. Now dropping over here.
TaeJa may want to invest in a Viking or a turret, Tasteless.
All right, he's something, man. I'm actually a little bit caught off guard by how much TaeJa's losing.
Yeah.
I'm actually getting,
I think he is,
you know what?
too.
I'm actually getting used to it. That's what's weird.
Yeah.
I'm like, yo, those Hellbats are in there killing SCVs again. That's been happening this whole game.
Yeah. All right, good targeting here using the Marines to actually kill off the medevac while the Marauder kills
he needs just
Hellbat.
1 or 2 Vikings. And
Yeah.
this actually just stops. The
Yeah,
medevacs
you're
will
pretty
get away
much
with the
right.
boost, but
The Vikings of Fantasy can't commit to going to the other side of the map to kill off any enemy Vikings. So you're completely right. If he patrols a couple Vikings, he's going to greatly reduce the amount of harassment that's coming at him.
you know, it's so thin as far as the worker numbers go at every mineral patch. And see, here we go again.
You
Still
know,
no
you know what
turret.
I think it is really right here is TaeJa. He's like, all right, he's not going to harass again. Like, I've killed so many of these at this
Right,
point.
right.
There's no way he's going to keep this up. He's going to go into some other macro mode or
Look
something.
at the supplies here. I mean, he's starting to get ahead now based off this harassment.
Yeah.
Think of how many SCVs have been killed. They'd probably be even
Yeah.
had this not happened. And once again, a big attack coming up here. He needs to take that turret out there first.
He is spotting right now with these Vikings and in fact going to go after these medevacs. The medevacs flying through some missile turrets here. He's going to be careful about that. Losing health on those.
Try to
can
get
be
in
rough.
here. But still, so many SCVs are being killed off down
Yeah,
here.
it's actually getting a little bit crazy. Meantime, TaeJa having a great position there on the high ground, blocking tanks from coming in easily.
Still more harass. Those Hellbats, they're meaty enough.
He's
that
killed 97 SCVs at this point.
This is completely out of control. Backing up now. You know, the problem is that I think people are used to Hellions, which, you know,
Yeah.
they have to deal with them differently. The Hellbats can still be hit. They can take damage while
Yeah.
killing your workers. It's not...
Oh, totally.
Yeah.
And the splash from them actually works better on the mirror line. You don't have to micro it as much because it's from side to side rather than a straight line.
Exactly.
Whereas with the straight line, you have to kind of line
You have to
them up.
micromanage it,
Yeah.
angle it just right. And
The Hellbat is a hands-free drop technique.
yeah. All right, the medevac gets hit there. But, you know, I think that FanTaSy might have too much powerful mech right now. Because even though he lost all that, he's actually gotten to the point where he's remade it now.
Yeah. Oh, my God.
Sick micro there.
Well, now he still has those two Hellbats that have to be dealt with. This is getting just even more annoying for TaeJa.
And he's going to drop again. Well, here we go.
Here's another one.
That's kind of weird he has a tank in there.
The tank might be just to snipe Marauders. Tank with the Hellbat,
Oh,
which
you know
gets
what?
healed, and then snipe the Marauders so that he can come back later with more Hellbats. I don't know, man. Like, FanTaSy would think of something
Well,
like
he's
that.
very technical.
Okay,
I'd
104
say he's
SCVs
probably
have
the
been
most
killed.
technical player.
You're definitely one of.
In StarCraft 1.
One
Whenever I
of, for
watched
sure.
him play, I'm like, my God, man. All right, here we go again.
That's a lot of siege tanks.
Indeed.
That's a good amount of Vikings to help spot. So,
Does he have a Raven in there?
no, I think he lost
point
his
defense
Raven.
drone?
No, I
Okay.
don't think he has one.
Point defense drone is a game changer.
Yeah, it certainly is.
He's going to go around this army.
He might do a big flank, or he might just do a run by over here. But there are a lot of Hellbats at home to help out against this.
So he's going to have to back up. He's going to be really careful. Those medevacs are really low on HP.
Yeah.
Well, they're both in the same like economic position as far as spaces go, but as far as you know, workers gathering resources, TaeJa is really not allowed to make any more major mistakes.
Yeah,
because he can't rebuild what he already has.
And, you know, he is down in by 20 supply right now, which is,
Yeah.
you know, that's missing in SCVs. So his army's still going to be pretty formidable, but if FanTaSy just keeps moving correctly like this, it's what is supposed to happen on TaeJa's side? It's 25 tanks to 11. This is going to be very hard to break. How do you break 25 tanks with Bio Tasteless? Especially with those help bats next to them.
Help bats?
Yeah, they're not even hell bats.
They're help bats.
They're help bats. Because you know what? Even if you want to drop on these tanks now, he's like, all right, you drop in a little clump. You do that. Let's see what the help bats do to you.
Yeah, we're going to melt you.
Yeah. Because that's what helping is, melting people. Melting the enemies.
That's why they say helping is melting.
That's what they say.
Well, we got another drop over here. You know, the thing is, TaeJa has something to defend with this, but it's never quite enough.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. And look
at this guy's
oh my
micro.
God. Absolute madness.
He's like, that's
Kills
fine, I'll
off
just
so
do
much.
some damage here with the Hellbats and then get out.
He's like, all right, you did manage to kill one Hellbat. I guess I'll leave now. It's like, wow. Well, 3-3 is upgraded for TaeJa, which is really nice, but we have great upgrades as well on his opponent here. In fact, the upgrades, I believe, are at 3-2.
All right, he's going to push forward now, but meanwhile, we have, looks like FanTaSy's going to try to go around here. Now we have Stim Marauders, but they're bumping into the tanks a little bit.
Yeah. This is not the greatest position in the world. Every medevac is going to go down right now for TaeJa, and he has the high ground advantage, and he has the vision advantage.
And here comes some Marauders and Marines, but oh so late. And I think he's going to be able to push on the 4th base over there at the center right for TaeJa, which is probably the base that has the most minerals. It's hard to say because there's been so many drops everywhere. We don't know which one's been mined optimally, but if he gets over there, that could be it.
Look at this. He is getting himself into a great position to guard that. But we do have a little force over here. Don't underestimate what a little force like this can do. It can cut off all reinforcements for a while, but
oh, sure.
FanTaSy is just too on top of things. Look at him.
No, he's on the ball.
He is on the ball like the bear that bounces on it while juggling at the circus.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if the bear actually juggles or not, but you know what I mean.
No. I don't think a bear can juggle.
I think that you're being pretty ridiculous against talented bears. I think a bear can do whatever it puts its mind to.
GG. Bears can't juggle. GG.
GG. You know who can?